Part 3, focus on the present. It's the only place you can act. Worry is time travel without the adventure. You're either haunted by a past you can't change or panicked by a future you can't control. Meanwhile, the only moment you can influence is being ignored now. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Confine yourself to the present." Not because the past is meaningless or the future unimportant, but because neither is yours yet. Not anymore. Not yet. The Stoic knows the only space where choice exists is the current moment. And every time you drift away from it, you hand your peace to a ghost. Ask yourself, can I breathe right now? Can I take one meaningful step? Here, today. That's presence. Not spiritual fluff, but practical clarity. Worry lives in imagination. Action lives in presence. And peace, that lives right between the two. When you choose now over what if your mind has ever felt like a time machine on fire, maybe it's time to land. Share this video with someone who yet is where they are because their head is everywhere else. Subscribe to Stoic Bloom for weekly wisdom grounded in the only place life actually happens. And drop a comment. What's one habit that helps pull you back to the present? Stoic Bloom. You can't fix tomorrow from yesterday. Show up now. Part 4, understand impermanence. Nothing stays forever. Worry often whispers, what if this lasts forever? But here's the truth the Stoics knew well. Nothing does. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself constantly that everything he loved, hated, feared, or clung to was fleeting. The highs, the lows, the people, the moments, all passing clouds. And that's not meant to make you sad. It's meant to make you wise. When you realize pain is temporary, you stop panicking. When you realize pleasure is temporary, you stop clinging. And when you realize everything is temporary, you start living with more clarity and less grasping. Look around you. The weather changes. The seasons shift. Even your thoughts. What you worried about last week barely exists today. This is the Stoic edge. We don't just accept impermanence. We work with it. Because when you stop expecting things to last, you stop demanding that they do. And that's when peace slips in. Not because life got easier, but because your expectations got cleaner. Stoic Bloom, everything passes, especially worry. Break free from overthinking. 6 Stoic habits to stop worrying for good. Stoic Bloom. What if worry isn't protecting you, but poisoning your present moment? The Stoics believe that worry is wasted imagination. You rehearse pain that hasn't happened, while missing peace that already exists. What if you're not overthinking because your life is chaotic, but because your mind isn't trained to be still? We don't suffer because we don't know the future. We suffer because we try to control it. In this video, we'll explore 6 practical Stoic habits that can help you quiet the noise and stop worrying. For real. Not through escape, but through mastery of attention, perspective, and presence. Let's begin. Part 1, control what you can, let go of what you can't. Worry thrives in the gap between control and chaos. You start spiraling the moment you try to manage things that were never yours to hold. Epictetus said it clearly, some things are up to us and some are not. But most people live like everything is up to them. They micromanage people's opinions, obsess over results, and cling to imaginary timelines. And when things don't go their way, they panic. Not because the world is ending, but because their illusion of control is cracking. The Stoic shifts focus. He doesn't waste energy on the uncontrollable. He redirects that energy toward mastering his reactions, his thoughts, his choices. And that shift from external obsession to internal discipline is what ends chronic worry at its root. Next time you feel overwhelmed, try this. Ask, can I influence this? If not, can I let it pass through me without becoming it? The moment you stop managing what's beyond you, you gain power over what's within you. That's the Stoic pivot, from panic to presence. If you've ever lost sleep over something out of your hands, welcome to the club. Share this video with someone who tries to solve the universe before breakfast. Subscribe to Stoic Bloom if you are ready to trade anxiety for inner authority. And comment below, what's one thing you're done pretending you control? Stoic Bloom, let go of what's not yours, own what is. Part 2, use negative visualization, make peace with what you fear. The mind hates uncertainty, and when it doesn't know what's coming, it fills the gap with fear. That's where negative visualization comes in, a Stoic tool for taming imaginary monsters. Seneca once wrote, "He suffers more than necessary, who suffers before it is necessary." Worry multiplies when we resist even the idea of things going wrong. We brace, obsess, overthink, and suffer twice, in fear, once in reality. But the Stoic takes a different path. He faces the worst-case scenario head-on, not to manifest it, but to disarm it. He asks, what if I lose this job? What if they don't approve? What if it all falls apart? And then he breathes into that answer. He imagines surviving it, adapting, even growing through it. Suddenly, the fear shrinks because the unknown is no longer a ghost. It's a map. And once you've walked through the worst in your mind, you no longer fear it in reality. This practice doesn't make you pessimistic. It makes you prepared. And the prepared mind doesn't panic. It proceeds with calm confidence, even in chaos. Stoic Bloom. Expect less, fear less, live clearer. Part 5, journal your worries, clarity through the page. When your mind is cluttered, your peace gets buried, and sometimes the fastest way to clean your thoughts is to write them down. Journaling isn't trendy, it's timeless. The Stoics used it not to impress others, but to impress wisdom onto themselves. Epictetus asked, "Do you wish to be invincible? Then don't enter into combat with what you can't control." But how do you know what you're fighting that's not yours, you write? You take the swirling storm in your head and you give it shape on paper. What feels like chaos becomes sentences, questions, patterns, perspective. Try this. Write down what's worrying you. Then ask 2 questions. Do I control this? What part of this is real and what part is just fear dressed up as fact? The moment you name the worry, you start taming it. It no longer floats above you. It sits in front of you, smaller, clearer, defeatable. If your brain ever feels like 37 tabs open at once, journaling might be your mental ad blocker. Share this video with someone who overthinks everything, but never writes it out. Subscribe to Stoic Bloom if you're ready to organize your mind like a Stoic, 1 page at a time. And drop a comment. What's the last worry you wrote down? And what did you see differently afterward? Stoic Bloom. If it's too loud in your head, write it out. Part 6, embrace discomfort. Let it train you. Most people run from discomfort. The Stoic? He walks straight into it because he knows what makes you anxious also makes you stronger. Worry often hides behind avoidance. We fear what we don't face. We feel powerless because we never practice power in difficulty. Epictetus taught, difficulties show men what they are. It's not the easy moments that shape you, it's the uncomfortable ones that refine you. So instead of avoiding what makes you nervous, lean in. Start small. That conversation you've been putting off. That fear you keep rehearsing. That uncertainty you keep labeling as stress. Don't run from it. Study it. Ask, what is this discomfort trying to teach me? What strength is waiting on the other side? Every uncomfortable moment is a miniature arena. And each time you stay, breathe, observe, and act, you're training. You're building resilience not through theory, but through lived experience. The Stoic doesn't chase pain. He just refuses to fear it. Because once discomfort becomes your teacher, worry loses its grip. Stoic Bloom. Let discomfort sharpen you, not shrink you. Part 7. Final worry is not wisdom. It's wasted imagination. And the more you feed it, the more it drains you, stealing the only thing you ever truly own, this moment. The Stoics didn't eliminate worry by ignoring it. They transcended it by understanding its roots and reclaiming their attention from its grip. They learned to act without attachment, to imagine the worst and be unmoved, to welcome discomfort as a teacher, not a threat. And in doing so, they became unshaken in a shaking world. You don't need to control everything to be at peace. You only need to master your perception, your presence, your priorities. When you stop trying to outrun worry and start walking through it with clarity, you no longer fear the unknown. You walk beside it, calmly, like an old companion. If this message helped quiet something inside you, even briefly, let it continue. Subscribe to Stoic Bloom and build a library of inner tools you can return to anytime. Share this video with someone caught in loops of overthinking. Like this video if you've ever turned a hard moment into quiet strength, and comment below, which Stoic habit will you start practicing today, and why? This is not the end of your anxiety, it's the beginning of your authority. Stop worrying, start walking wiser with Stoic Bloom.